Hey everybody, welcome back to another news roundup. Hope you guys been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. Excuse me if I'm kind of going a little quick. It's just because my battery is about to die and I want to be able to get this done fairly quickly. So we got a few topics for today, so we're just going to cut this short and jump right on in. So the first thing we're going to discuss is something from last week, one story that I forgot to mention. In regards to the sequel to Godzilla X Kong, Adam Wingard, as we know, left the sequel to go work on something else from A24, actually. And, well, we know the new director is going to be Grant Sputore, I think that's how you say his name, who most notably worked on Netflix's I Am Mother, which I actually like. He'll be now helming the project. And off note, recently, Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, has become the highest grossing film in the Monsterverse, grossing $570 million and becoming the second highest grossing film of the year so far, which really isn't saying much if you ask me. This just further illustrates their desire to fast track a sequel instead of waiting for one, say like another 3 years or so. So I wouldn't be surprised if this came out sooner, say 2026, to be honest. I mean, who knows if they really are, desperate to get this out there. Hopefully the quality won't suffer for it, but then again, the quality of these films are frankly abstract. It's just a monster mash, really. I mean, the last one, if you saw my review, the last one I think really started to lose steam, so hopefully it won't show more cracks in this one, but that is left to be seen. So hopefully this turns out to be fine, and we'll see how it pans out. Speaking of directors, let's talk about Blade. Blade has has basically evolved into development hell. And apparently the saga continues because Marvel Studios' adaptation of Blade has lost another director. The previous directorial effort included Bassem Tariq, who's most notably directed Mogul Mowgli, which I was actually curious to see but never got a chance to check it out. It's had 5 different screenwriters attached to the project over the years, most recently and still actively being Eric Pearson, who's wrote the upcoming Fantastic Four film from Marvel Studios. And no word on the replacement yet, or if the film will get pushed back, more likely based on what I've read. This is just another development in the saga of just, issues with Blade. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if Mahershala Ali stepped away at this point. I mean, it's just been an ongoing development now for almost, 5 years at this point. So I doubt they'll scrap it. I doubt that they'll scrap it because there is a market that they want to tap into, right? I mean, it's a notable title, Blade, Wesley Snipes. But it's a little expecting, seeing the many setbacks this has had, just hearing more news about stuff falling apart. So I don't know if it's the studio or Mahershala Ali himself making it difficult. Whatever it is, it's just making it harder to get this thing off the ground and just to get it going. So yeah, just another development. Not a good one, but another development nonetheless. So we'll see what happens there. But all right, the big story for this week is revolving around Sony Pictures. In a apparently historic deal, Sony Pictures has acquired Alamo Drafthouse, and what makes it historic and quite notable is that they are now the first major studio to own a movie theater chain in roughly 75 years. Now, there are decrees that were in place known as the Paramount Consent Decrees, and up until 2020, these decrees would prevent distributors from owning exhibition companies such as theaters, forcing studios to be separated from theater chains, which were the older business models like way back in the day in like the 40s and 50s. And they've lasted now up until 2020. Now, with the decrees lifted, studios are now able to go in and buy out exhibitions if they choose to do so. And Sony Pictures appears to be the first of these major studios to be stepping into that. So, this is a little troubling, honestly, when you really think about it, because ownership with studios will give way to exclusivity within exhibitions and potentially in what plays in those auditoriums, which will not only make it harder to produce a competitive market, but it also makes it more difficult for other projects, specifically indies, to find a home for their film rather than without having to worry about making deals with these distributors who are self-regulating these exhibitions, So I think it's just going to make things needlessly difficult for smaller projects and can pave the way for studios to filter in their own businesses rather than relying upon the models they have today, which would be for better or worse, I guess, at this current rate based on how these past 2 years have been going. But I just fear a time where each studio has its own theater for its own movies and the whole inclusive nature of this competitive market in film becomes rarer to find, So it's important to support your smaller theaters, go to your Angelica theaters or your, just your little mom and pop theaters. Please go support your theaters because it's important that you do so. Because they might be the ones who have a variety of films to watch in the future. Because who knows, some decisions like these may pave way to exclusivity and not inclusivity. So yeah. So it's a little concerning, but we'll see how it evolves in the next couple of years and how studios respond to such purchases. So, or how they utilize such purchases. So there you have that. All right, we have 2 trailers to discuss for today. 2 small ones. One of them kind of notable, the other one just kind of small. The first one being Paddington 3, aka Paddington in Peru. It is on the way. It seemed for a minute Paddington 3 was just kind of off the books, but it apparently is still a thing. And it has a bunch of the cast returning, except Sally Hawkins. She's replaced by Emily Mortimer. Joining the cast, Antonio Banderas, Olivia Colman, and of course Ben Whishaw is back to play Paddington himself, this time being directed by Dougal Wilson, who is in his feature debut, not Paul King, who directed the other 2 films. And it has a release date here in the US for January 17th, 2025, in the UK in November, I think. It looks cute. It looks cute enough, I'll say. The first 2 films, I think they're very adorable. They have a unique, down-to-earth quality that hopefully this will maintain and capture based on what I've seen. It has potential in capturing that spirit. I'm not super crazy about Paddington, but I enjoy the films for what they are. So I'd be curious to check this out. I just hope with a title like Paddington in Peru, I hope it's not an indication of diminishing returns. Because like any title that's basically main character goes to insert location here sort of thing isn't usually a good sign. Like I think the Beetlejuice 2 was originally going to be like Beetlejuice in Hawaii or something like that. Some weird thing. I think Kevin Smith talked about it, but it looks cute. It looks cute, and hopefully it captures the spirit of those first 2 films because they're quite adorable little films. So we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious to see it. And lastly for today, we're going to talk about a trailer called The Instigators. This stars Matt Damon, Casey Affleck, Alfred Molina, Ron Perlman, Han Chow. So, a little bit of a notable cast. Written and directed by Doug Liman, who's most notably directed the Bourne trilogy, as well as Edge of Tomorrow, which everyone, for some reason, is asking a sequel for. Who knows? But This has a release date for August 9th, 2024 on Apple TV Plus. So, this is a like spy, or no, not spy, kind of a heist type deal. I forget, like, yeah, kind of like a heist type deal. Matt Damon is a fatherly figure, father type, and he's brought into this world where Casey Affleck's kind of the younger type dude, Han Chow being Matt Damon's therapist. So trying to like integrate some comedy with also action. But the word that comes to mind, honestly, when watching this trailer is washed up. Like, it just feels old, worn down, which is the polar opposite of what the trailer would want you to feel. That it wants you to feel energized and, laughing. That's what it wants to get out of you. But what it feels like to me, more or less, is something that should have been released a couple years ago. Like, this feels like this should have been released back in like 2018 or 2019. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the production history. Maybe it's been delayed for some years. I have no idea, but it's very low caliber. That's the way I'll put it. It just seems pretty snoozy, if you ask me. So, not really much to talk about. It's just, it exists, and I'm not really that curious, to be honest. I like Casey Affleck. I think he's a really good actor, but yeah, not much to really talk about except just seems pretty disposable, if you ask me. So, but yeah, that's gonna be it for this week's news roundup. Sorry if we're being a little rushed. Just like I said, I just got a little bit of battery left, and I also got to use the restroom. So, but you guys, let me know your thoughts on this bite-sized news week with Paddington 3, with the potential with studios now owning theater chains, being allowed to do so now. Your thoughts on Blade, if that thing is ever going to come out. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And until then, I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.